35 minutes past the hour of 7 and you're still watching Sunrise at Sea. Now, what you saw right there was a workout. I did not understand how Sarah dragged me all the way to the gym, because gym clearly isn't for me, but somehow you have to get in shape, you have to look good. So if you're one of those people like me who do not like to do the gym, I guess we should try like weight loss smoothies, like try to cut back on, the starch and eat more salads and vegetables. Well, yet again, you're welcome to Twitter Jabs Part 2. Me and Kira earlier on discussed Twitter Jabs Part 1, and we're looking at Uganda civil aviation at 30. As of today, they officially make 30 years as they came in existence in 1991. Joining me, taking the center of the conversation this morning, is Alhaj Engineer Ayub Soma, the Director of Airports and Aviation Security. Good morning, sir, and thank you for being a part of this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am excited to see you here this morning. We have a history that goes way back.
Yes.
Engineer Soma was my mentor, so seeing him here this morning is such a pleasure.
Thank you.
So, as we dive right into the conversation, and Uganda Civil Aviation is celebrating 30 years of existence. First of all, what is the Aviation Week all about?
The Aviation Week is actually came as a result of several meetings which were attended during the first week of December, and those meetings in 1994 resulted into signing the Chicago Convention. Now, this Chicago Convention is the one which actually now makes a precursor of the creation of the International Civil Aviation Organization, which officially now is a UN day and was agreed to be put on the 7th of December every year. So this creation was in 1994. And therefore, during that week, the aviation fraternity agreed to make it an aviation week, where we make a number of activities. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is there a theme under which this particular aviation week runs, or what do you intend to achieve in the week?
Normally, we have a theme, and the theme goes with the time.
Okay.
For example, the theme for this year is the advancing innovative technology development. You see, because this year we are looking at so many areas such as technology. We are also looking at the innovative, creative processes. In aviation, interestingly, other than us thinking about the aircraft, which is the technology, the other one is the passenger experience. And the passenger experience for this time is not like it has been, because now we are talking about the time of COVID.
Okay.
So we have to come up with innovative, creative processes that will make the passengers comply with COVID-19.
I can't wait to have that experience. But what are some of those changes that you have put in place?
Yes, at Entebbe International Airport, we have put a number of changes. One, we rapidly ensured that we opened up our lounges. Before, we used to have closed lounges, which makes actually people sit together in a crowded form. So we went and made what we call an open lounge system, which gives a lot of room such that people can sit while social distancing in order to comply with COVID-19 requirements. So that's one of them. The other one is that we have ensured that at most of the points there is sanitizers. You can sanitize yourself. All the time in the terminal building, we have intelligent temperature mass screening systems You know, sometimes people come and they say, but how have we been screened? But this is being done.
Technology.
Yes. And also, you see, the government, in its wisdom, came up to ensure the protection of spread of COVID, and implemented a mandatory passenger arrivals testing, which already the lab is at Entebbe International Airport at a cheap price of $30.
Well, it depends on what age bracket or even what income status you're in, depending on where you are.
Yes.
But backtracking to the 30 years that we are celebrating today, what are some of those key highlights that you can quickly point out that the aviation sector has been able to fulfill?
Yes. You know, unfortunately, this period has not been our best. Because our traffic has gone down, and this has created a number of issues. But we have, of course, gone in and sponsored some activities, like the Uganda Seniors Golf Open. Then also in the memory of our first director, Airports and Aviation Security, actually the position I'm
which you're filling
in now.
in.
You know, he used to be a very good at chess, and he was one of those people who initiated the progression of chess in Uganda. So also every year during the Aviation Week, we put what we call Sir Ruabshen Chess Championship, which is normally organized by Uganda Chess Federation. And also this one was arranged, which ran from around 2nd to 5th December at Chiwatule Recreation Center.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what have been some of those setbacks? As you even highlight the 30 years, what are some of those things that you feel have pulled down the aviation sector, and what is the way forward?
You know, first of all, the fastest means of transport on earth today is air transport.
Yes.
And therefore, also the fastest means of transmitting or spreading infectious diseases like COVID-19 still would be through air transport, because you move just in a few hours from one place to another. And because of that, immediately the air industry had to be put on stop. You know what that means? The number of people we are employing, and now also government, in response to protect their citizens, they had to put up lockdowns, and immediately that made our revenues go down. Even to sustain, to pay salaries was becoming a problem. So the first was, of course, the impact it created on our revenue due to COVID-19. Then the other one is that during the same period, we were undergoing a number of constructions. And these constructions, especially like the upgrade and expansion of Entebbe International Airport, phase 1, which is very famous these days. When I hear people saying the airport is gone to the Chinese, I really get surprised.
We actually have a viewer who has sent in that tweet. I'm supposed to pose this to you.
Yes, so that project was also on during the same time, but when COVID-19 came in, of course, it had to be a little bit paralyzed. It had to be a little bit paralyzed because some of the materials come from out and so many other things. So some of these challenges came. Then the other one is the quick change and adherence to the technology that complies with the current situation. this is another challenge. Because now you have been using something different, but you must quickly adhere and change to the current trend. Yes. So also that became a challenge on our side. Because all that you can only do when you have revenue. Now, while COVID, we encourage people to vaccinate, because vaccination, of course, is the only way for us to protect ourselves from COVID. But as we do that, we will need to recover. We will need to recover. But you see, to recover, you will need a boost. And unfortunately, the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, while we called for government help to give us a subvention, we haven't yet got a response. So, but that boost is necessary for us to catch up with other industries.
That's true.
Yes. And of course, the other one is the competition in the region.
Definitely.
The competition in the region. You are seeing how Rwanda is coming up. You are seeing our brothers in Kenya, in Tanzania. All these, they are coming up, and it forms a major competition. Now, this competition will put you, whether you are a good airport, to have strategic connections for passengers. Will you have passengers who are going to delay or not? So those are some of the challenges that we have.
Now,
facing, yes.
for some of our viewers who are watching us live this morning, we have an interesting question coming in. This is from Alan Kaze saying, why has it taken Uganda Civil Aviation Authority so long to complete the new modification passenger building?
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, the modification of the passenger terminal building is a building which is totally financed by our internal revenue.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, the progression of this building, when we were trying to do it, it again came into the period of COVID-19. Now, when COVID-19, as I have just explained, came, immediately our revenue had to go down. We even tried to ask for government bailout, which I have told you was not responded to. Now, definitely we could not now put money on continuing to build when we don't have it. So this definitely halted the construction of that building. However, I also want to thank that one of the advantage of COVID-19 is that when the government started planning to put mandatory testing at Entebbe International Airport, they had to look for space, and they could not see it, and that was the only available space. You see? So government immediately had to see that the only thing to do was actually to give support to that building. And they have given 15 billion to complete the arrivals down. And this now will give a good kickstart to finish this building. So there is a high hope that we will finish this building, but otherwise it was because of the revenue.
Okay.
Yes,
I hope this has answered Alan's question. But even as we wind up the conversation today, that there's a tweet that came up, and I was asked to pose this to you, and that is by Buruk Eric Ongodias, replying, of course, to at CTV Uganda. And he says, is it true that Entebbe Airport was sold? Ask Mr. Ayub Soma. Now I am asking on behalf of Eric. Could you, I know we had this conversation on Monday with Kenneth Otim. However, they want to hear it now from you.
You know, I really don't know why Ugandans cannot believe their only leaders, like the Attorney General, has come out openly and told us about the loan which was acquired by government to put up Entebbe International Airport. And I can tell you that this loan it is the best, maybe loan with the best interest, with the best repayment facility in the country. Unless if somebody out there can tell me that there is one. At 2%, 20 years of repayment period.
With a grace period?
7 years grace period. Tell me one. And many of them will even have a 15% of advance payment or of payment, sharing. There is nothing like that. So I want to reassure the Ugandans that the government is definitely handling that loan with a lot of anxiety and love, and the airport is protected, and in any case, there is no, I have never seen a Chinese government taking over any asset in Africa. That one, unless somebody tells you. But there is this political rumor, which is very unfortunate. And I think this came as a result of people wanting, we have what we call Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, which was in Dakar recently. So it's this war. It's a kind of West-East war. And as Ugandans, we don't need to enter into such a war because it's not for us. But let us love our country, and our government is trying all what it takes to make sure that this country is developed to another level. And one of the key assets in this country to move into that direction of good development is Entebbe International Airport.
And an airport is the face of any country.
Yes, it's the face of
what
the
you
country.
see at the airport is exactly what depicts what is in the country.
So I want to allay the fears. Entebbe International Airport is going to be there. And you can see when you look at me, can I be in really an airport that is likely to be taken?
I will not give a response to that. But thank you so much, Mr. Ayub Soma, for honoring this invitation and bringing clarity to this particular matters at hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that winds up the conversation that we had for you today on Twitter Jabs Part 2. I will not re-echo what he said. Feel free to go to our social media platform, that is at CTV Uganda, and leave your comment down below as to what you think. Has Uganda Civil Aviation Authority fulfilled their mandate to you as a citizen of the country? We'll take a quick break, but right after the break is Kira Natozo, and she's going to be educating us, or giving us insight as to what hair loss is and how best you can go about it, and especially for ladies, together with the men. Many times we tend to lose our front hairline, so you might want to know tips and tricks on how best to beat that vice. Good morning.